The chief intelligence officer of Ukraine, Kyrylo Budanov from the GUA, made a provocative statement in a recent interview, openly threatening to assassinate Russian President Vladimir Putin and claiming that previous attempts had failed. This statement comes amid heightened tensions between Russia and Ukraine. In response, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov condemned Ukraine for these threats and highlighted that Russia is aware of the situation and has taken appropriate security measures. The nature of these failures is complex and involves multiple factors. Budanov explained that operations to eliminate Putin are extremely delicate and conducted by special intelligence services with a high level of secrecy. No foreign intelligence service, even allies, are permitted to directly participate in these operations. Budanov suggested that major intelligence services, such as those of Israel, the UK and EU countries, are not yet politically prepared to conduct such operations. He mentioned that Putin has 8 layers of protection. This includes his personal security, which performs counter-espionage and defensive operations, as well as the FSB, a powerful structure monitoring all possible threat directions. Additionally, there are other internal intelligence agencies and private security firms operating around Putin. The Russian Ministry of the Interior and the National Guard, commanded by Viktor Zolotov, Putin's former bodyguard, also play critical roles in the president's protection. These security systems include escort convoys to confuse potential attackers, radio control, armored vehicles, and various layers of protection against drones, missiles, artillery strikes, and explosions. Budanov stated that while it is difficult to carry out an operation against Putin due to his vast protection network, it is not impossible. The absence of political will is a crucial factor. Putin, aware of his status as one of the most pursued individuals on the planet, takes all possible measures to ensure his security, fully understanding the consequences of his actions. This Sunday, new reports indicate that Russia's daily losses in May and June 2024 reached the highest level since the start of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. According to a report by Natalia Gusso and Vladimir Shtengelov for Frida TV, in the past 2 months, over 70,000 Russian soldiers have been killed or wounded, as also reported by British intelligence. This represents approximately 1/10 of the total losses since February 2022. Experts estimate that Russia has already lost about 700,000 military personnel, which is practically equivalent to the entire force that started the war. Currently, the Russian army is being replenished by inexperienced and inadequately trained soldiers. To compensate for the losses without declaring a general mobilization, Moscow is actively recruiting foreign students, threatening not to renew their visas if they refuse to fight in Ukraine. Additionally, Russian intelligence services have detained African migrant workers, offering them the choice between deportation or a contract with the Ministry of Defense. According to the UK Ministry of Defense, the attempt to recruit citizens from African countries is due to the lack of mobilizable resources among prisoners, who were initially the Kremlin's main bet. Now, migrants have become another target of Russian recruitment, with authorities conducting legal persecution campaigns to force adherence to the army in exchange for citizenship or to avoid arbitrary arrests. Domestically, the Russian government wants to avoid increasing discontent. Information about military operations disclosed by Russian propaganda has increasingly irritated the population, especially the families of soldiers who, after suffering severe injuries, are sent back to the front. Despite all the efforts of the Moscow authorities, the number of Russian troops is insufficient to meet the objectives of active offensives. This has been acknowledged even by pro-Kremlin bloggers. The Russian government does not officially admit this reality, but continues to increase regional financial incentives for those signing contracts with the Ministry of Defense. In one of the country's poorest regions, Karachay-Cherkessia, the one-time compensation for new recruits reaches 500,000 rubles. the Russian Ministry of Defense has confirmed the use of the FAB-3000 aerial bomb against Ukraine. Russia stated that the attack targeted a temporary base of the Ukrainian armed forces using a Su-34 bomber. This is the first time this 3,000 kg bomb, developed in the Soviet era, has been used. Previously, there were reports that Russia had used this bomb in attacks on the village of Liptsy in northern Kharkiv region. The FAB-3000 can cause destruction within a radius of up to 300 meters. Russia has other larger explosive aerial bombs, such as the FAB-5000 and FAB-9000, weighing over 5 and 9 tons respectively. The most critical situation remains in the Pokrovsk direction, where more than a third of the fighting has occurred. On the Kharkiv front, the enemy conducted 3 unsuccessful attacks near Vovchansk and Hliboki. The terrorists continue to launch KAB bombs from Russian territory into Ukrainian villages and towns, including 4 airstrikes in the Liptsy region and 2 in Vovchansk, originating from Chebykino. Ukrainian defense forces repelled 3 enemy attacks near Pishchany and Stelmakivka, while 16 unguided rockets were launched in the Petropavlivka area. In Liman, the enemy conducted 4 attacks on Ukrainian positions near Kerakivka and Makivka, launching 20 unguided rockets. Today, in an interview, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reacted to the attack on Donald Trump that occurred yesterday. New details and news emerge every minute about the assassination attempt on the former US president, which took place during an electoral rally in Pennsylvania. At the time of the shots, Trump was speaking about the number of illegal immigrants in the US. He immediately ducked, and his security team quickly intervened. Trump suffered an ear injury, but is not seriously hurt. 1 rally participant died, and 2 others were injured. The shooter, a 20-year-old, was neutralized. Trump's spokesman, Stephen Chiang, stated that the former president is well after being treated at a local medical center. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reacted to the attack, calling it a horrible crime that must be condemned, highlighting the global challenges to democracy and the need to combat violence. US President Joe Biden also reacted on social media, expressing relief that Trump is safe and well. He thanked the Secret Service for ensuring Trump's safety and stressed that there is no place for this kind of violence in America. Biden called for national unity to condemn the attack and offered prayers for Trump, his family, and all those present at the rally. Activate the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. Here are 2 important videos for you to watch. Hugs. Самолетроин Yost. When in the ice, see it so weiter,